Okay, so this is my discussion on SQL, and it's intended for my stat software class, but anybody can obviously watch it. So in spring of 2019, I started teaching this stat software class of mine that runs through a whole bunch of different software. And I had always wanted to have one of my optional modules be on SQL, and I had to wait until spring of 2022 when I found out that I could use Google Console to do this. I was very happy because at that point Google Console would give you completely free access, and after a certain amount of time your projects would sunset. But if you didn't want to buy the official high-level paid service, you could just bum around in it no problem as a student if you didn't have a lot of serious projects you wanted to do, just as a learning tool. So recently this has sort of shifted a little bit. One of the things I hate doing is asking my students to give their credit card to anybody. And so this being an optional project, if you do not like to give your credit card to Google, then do not do this project. Just watch the video, benefit from watching me do some stuff on the computer, but do not feel obligated to pick this project. There's also, if you love SQL and you don't want to give Google your credit card, there are other ways of learning about SQL, and come talk to me about it, and we can make a plan for you to learn SQL on a different system that doesn't involve giving you giving your credit card information away. Okay, and first of all, Google says they will not charge your credit card for the free period in which you are allowed to use the Google Console tools. And that is something that's been happening a lot. You probably noticed even when you go to the airport or whatever, they ask for your credit card to prove who you are. So that is the tone in which Google is asking for your credit card. They're not going to charge you until you turn on the option to charge. Okay? So that's something to be aware of. But right now, this is summer of 2025. I just finished teaching my spring 2025, but I'm prepping for spring 2026. And things change. Things change over time. And now Google Console has changed. And for me, I don't think it's for the better. Okay. All right. So let's dive right in. Given that was my little preamble, just don't do this if it makes you feel uncomfortable, period. Now, if you're okay with Google having your credit card, I know Google already had my credit card, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And so I'm going to go on ahead and show you what it looks like. So first of all, I'm logged in on the account that was authorized, but I'm actually going to sign out and use a fresh account. Okay, here's a different one of my Google accounts that I did not link up with Google Cloud, because I want to show you what it looks like when you log in for the first time. So you're going to go something like this, cloudgoogle.com, and try typing BigQuery, and it'll tell you, hey, before you go in, you need to start for free, and it just kind of blocks you from using the resources. So go ahead and click Start Free, and you go through this process where you agree and continue and give them some information, and that's, again, if you feel comfortable with that, that's the pathway. I am going to just stop this right now and log in again with my other account. Okay, now I'm back to my main account, and I'm going to type cloud google.com BigQuery, and you'll see it looks different now that I've gone through all the authentication and so forth. This landing page I don't find to be too terribly useful, so I'm actually going to go straight into the public data set for now. So public data, and it should take you directly to this page, and I go to the second link, the databases in Cloud Marketplace, and this will take me to where I feel like is the top of the library. So we can launch projects from here if we want to look at a public data set. Now, just a warning, a couple years ago when I made the video initially, there were about 231 data sets, and now there's about 320. The 231 data sets were all free and publicly available, And some of these are actually paid data sets. So every so often you'll run into one and you think it looks interesting and you can't access it without paying. Don't pay for it. Just go get a free one. We're not here to pay for stuff. We're here to just learn a little bit about SQL. Okay? So also, let me see. Let me try going to this address. If I go to https:// console cloud google.com BigQuery. What does that look like? Okay, so hopefully this will land me where I expect. Okay, it looks pretty reasonable. Okay, so this is what my console is going to look like, and this is what the library looks like. But I can get to my console from the library also. Okay, I think I'm going to flip the script versus what I did last time. I think I'm going to show you first how to upload your own data, because then I'm going to show you a lot of neat things with their data, and so I don't want to kind of break that stride. I'm going to just show you how to upload a data set. So, for example, let me just pull up a data set I've been playing with. Okay, this is the same data set I've been playing with in a lot of my videos this semester, and so I just wanted to show you, this is my CAS schools, California schools data set that we've been using. And so there are certain columns that are strings, but I'm going to ignore those for the moment and just look at the columns that have numbers in them, and they have means and maxes and mins and so forth. So this is my reference. This is what I know to be true, and I'm going to just do a couple of these summary statistics in SQL to make sure that I can successfully load my data into SQL and I can run some really basic tasks in SQL. And then we're going to abandon that, because once I know that you can get your data into SQL, I want you to actually enjoy spending time with their data sets. Okay, so if I go here and I want to create a new, I just named this upload. I think this button here is where you create, either select or create a new project. I can just create a new project right now and call it whatever I want. Okay, so demo. Okay, I'm going to call it demo, and then it automatically is going to probably change this. Well, it didn't do it. It didn't automatically change it, but if I just say select, then it selects it. So this, you can change your project here. Like once the project's been created, it gives you the option to very easily just select it. But if you're just sitting here at the console, you can just click here and navigate between your various tasks. Okay, so I want to be here, and so now I'm in this project called demo, and I want to add a data table. And so the crazy thing is that you have a project, and inside the project it's like several layers deep before you get to the data, and that's kind of counterintuitive. But we have to add data to this project, but it's kind of one little step at a time. So this would be an SQL query, but I can't really do an SQL query yet on it because I haven't added data yet. And so I'm going to go ahead and upload a local file, and I'm going to select my local file, and I can name my table anything I want except table. I can't name it table, but I can name it my table. Okay, do not name your table table. This should be fine. Everything else should be fine. I should be able to create it. Data set required. My data. Create new data set. My data. So they've changed a little bit of it. Let's go ahead and try it now. And at this point, if you're uploading a very large data set, it will take time. Like it says, my table was created. You can go to the table. But when you're loading a very, very large file, you'll get all sorts of weird fake error messages. It'll say delay, it'll say fail. You have to be patient when you're uploading a large data set. This was just a tiny little data set. So as you've noticed right here, I have this, the name of my demo is Sincere Stack. I don't know, they made that up. But within there is all my data, and within all my data is this specific table. Okay, so that's why it's down several layers, and that's kind of counterintuitive. And right now I'm just looking at what's called the schema. I'm not able to do anything right now. I'm just looking at it, okay? Now I want to run a query. I could hit query, but then I'm just gonna, or this here, I can hit a query, but I can also run a query by doing this. And I want to do that for the various reason. I'm going to keep doing that, which is, I don't know the name of this data. It's some weird string. I don't care. I want SQL to give me this starting line so that I don't have to type this gobbledygook. Nobody wants to type that. All right, so then what I'm going to do is my standard thing is select star. That means select everything from the data set. And one thing you want to make sure is there's no spaces in the beginning of the line. So it is not forgiving to you if you put spaces at the beginning of the line. You can join these two lines up, then the space over here is fine. But if you're starting a new line, it cannot have a space in it. I don't know why, that's just the way they do it. Now, I don't want to see everything. I just want to see like the first 3 lines of this file, and so I'm just going to hit run, and I could also put a return here. This would be fine. This is one line of code, and I can end it with a semicolon, but since it's one single solitary line of code, it's fine. I can leave the semicolon off, and I can go ahead and run this query, and it's just going to show me the first 3 lines of my data. Let's see if this is correct. All right, that's interesting. I don't think they're keeping the data in the same row, in the same order. Interesting. Well, so row 176 should be South Bay Union Elementary. Let's see if that's true. Row name 176 is South Bay. Yep. Okay, so they've sucked in the data in their own order, but they've got the data, so that's good. So I'm just looking at a preview and getting a sense for what's in there. I just have an understanding that the row names are there, the district is a number, the schools are names, and so forth. Okay, what if I want to know something? I want to verify that I got something in here right. What is the median number of teachers in all these schools? And then we're going to say, okay, how do I figure that out? Well, I will have to refer to some reference, and then I'm going to come back and form my query. Okay, so I'm going to pause while I look that up and then show you how I look that up. Okay, and so my favorite SQL cheat sheet is at www.sqltutorial.org/sql-cheat-sheet, and then I would like to download this cheat sheet, and I want to find the averages. Average returns the average of a list. I don't know how to find the median, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look for the sum or the max, the min, the count. I'll look for the average number of teachers just because, okay, I want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, select, instead of selecting everything, I'm going to pick teachers. I had a star, and then I want teachers. I'm asking, if I type slow enough, I can find it. And let me just go back to my limit 3 situation and show you what it looks like. I'm going to just have the column of just the teachers. I just sort of want to show you this as a progression. So if I don't want I just don't want the teachers. I want it to do the average of these 3 teachers. Then I do like that. I say not all the teachers, just take them and average them or sum them or something like that. But that's fine. I don't want to limit 3 though. I want to look at the whole data set now, and I can just say run. And it should tell me the average number of teachers in the data set is 129 per school. Let's see, 0.06 teachers. Teachers mean 129.06. So yay! What about the max number of teachers? Should be 1429. So let's see about that. Let's find the max number of teachers. And there you go. Okay, so that's the first demo. It's done. Yay. I wanted to just show you how to get data in and how to start doing really basic SQL commands on the data that you uploaded. So now the rest of the demos are going to involve data from their data set. Next thing though I want to show you before I start doing that, I want to show you how to delete your projects, because they give you some kind of limit to how many projects you have, and so they'll yell at you if you have too many. And the other thing I want you to notice, it says set up billing to upgrade to the full experience, learn more. So I usually dismiss this stuff, but I actually am keeping this here on purpose to remind myself to confirm that I have not upgraded and that I'm not paying. So that's a constant reassurance to me, because now that I have given them my credit card number, I want to make sure that doesn't get triggered. So this is me reminding myself that I didn't accidentally start paying. Okay, so because I'm paranoid about you accidentally spending money on this, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to delete projects and how to make sure they are not billing. So first of all, you did not set up billing. If you see this message, you did not set up billing. But I'm just extra paranoid. So I'm going to show you how to verify that you can delete projects, because there's a certain number of free projects you get. So you might just run out. So go to Cloud Google Com, Console Cloud Google Com / Cloud Resource Manager. Okay, and then it's going to add stuff on the end of that. So don't worry about the fact that this stuff is associated with your account, but you don't type that. It'll just automatically backfill for you. Okay, so here's some stuff that maybe I don't need anymore. Like I was gonna call this project upload. I didn't. So I didn't even use this. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this, because why should I have a project and I'm not gonna use it. So I have to be absolutely sure that I'm shutting down the project that I want to. I can't copy and paste that. I have to physically type the name of this thing that I'm deleting, and it's got some characters after it. There we go. And then I can say go ahead, shut down, and then it opens up my ability to have more projects later. Okay, so it gives me a month. I don't know if there's a way to speed that up, like in Apple, and when you delete your pictures, you can just put them in confinement for 30 days, or you can delete them. I don't know if there's a way to delete them faster. I've never had to. Okay, but let's say I want to just leave the project there, but make sure that I'm not spending any money on it. Okay, so this one, I'm going to just look under billing and make sure that I see this message. This project has no billing account. Oh, perfect. Right, so I don't want to link it to a billing account. I just want to make sure there's no billing account, so it can't incur any costs. Okay, so that's just to be absolutely sure you're not incurring any costs. Okay, so let's do something fun, okay? Let's not just play with our own pathetic data. Let's use their data. Okay, so you can get into these data sets by more than one mechanism. You can go in through this little triangle. You can open up this triangle, and if you know the name of the thing you're looking for, you can go after it. That is difficult, but it's not bad if you've already used that data set before and you know exactly what its name is. But if you don't know exactly the name of the data set you're going after, I'm just going to close this. I don't need this. I'm leaving this page, and I'm going to go over here to the marketplace, and I'm going to type NOAA. It's actually the first one here. It's this cloud to ground. Okay, then I guess I'm going to do it this way. Sorry, I wanted the first one. But anyway, I wanted this cloud to ground lightning strikes data set, and if I just click view data set, it brings it right into my environment for me, so I didn't have to search for it. It just brings it all in for me. So I want to do a couple of examples for you of how this how you can do basic searches. You sort of I sort of want you to learn SQL a couple commands at a time. Just enjoy it. Okay, so let's this here tells you a little bit about the data set, and sometimes it will tell you more than that. There's usually a listing of the variables, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to, lightning strikes. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see the variables. There we go. So it tells you the field names and the data types. Great. That's what I want to see. All right. Now, I want to warn you of something. At some point I told you you can name your table anything except table. Why did I say that? Because table is a reserved word in SQL. And you know what else is a reserved word in SQL? Date. And some turkey decided to name the date column date. And that's going to be a headache for us because you can't do that. But they did. All right, so we're going to have to deal with that. All right, so keep that in mind. So anyway, this is what, and I'm going to go ahead and do a query. I'm going to do a really basic query so I can get a sense for what the data look like. I'm just going to limit 3. I just want to see a few lines of data. And it's just going to give me 3 lines of data. Well. This says I exceeded my quota. So I may have to wait and do this again later. Okay, at least I've solved the mystery. I went back in my old video from when I was doing what I was trying to do this same search, but when I did it before, I was only using 2.9 megabytes, and that was because it was a different data set. So this data set has now been glommed together or something. All this data from, like, I don't know, 2012 or something to 2020, but something else is fishy too, because when I ran the search earlier today, when I ate up all my data, it actually had a different format and it had multiple hits. It had like hundreds of identical hits. Instead of here where you just see one hit at a time, there were hundreds of each of the hits. So that's really crazy. So somebody really messed up that data set and made it like 10 terabytes instead of, well, I really wanted to search like 3 megabytes. So that's why it's giving me trouble. So I guess I can't really demonstrate that, but at least now I know why. Okay, I did not know if this is going to work at all, but I'm going to try it. Let me go back to this library and try to do the other demo. I don't know if it's going to let me do it or not. Go to ACS and look at the samples of the different queries that can run. And so what this map is showing is that King County rent cost as a share of median income changed between 2011 and 2017, and this map is showing you where the rent increased the most. Again, as a relative share of median income. It doesn't necessarily mean it increased the most, but it may have. But it's saying how much it increased relative to someone's income. Okay, So if you click on that, you should get the data set, and it does the query for you. So here's their query. I need to switch to a different project. Let's go here. But I want that query. So I will just click this again. Maybe it will open it into a different project. Okay. Now, if this works, I want to go back and read this carefully and understand what's going on, because it's really cool. If we just run it as is, we should get back to the same data that they have in their demo. But I want to get bold and try a different county. What I want you to do then is I would want you to like save off this results, but yeah, I don't know, I think just local file probably. There we go. And then what you want to do is you want to open it in GeoViz. Now you have to authorize GeoViz and say, you know, you saw that button just show up, but I already previously authorized GeoViz. So I'm going to run that again. Okay, so this looks like a mess, and but it won't when I'm done. Okay, so you notice that this percent is going from something like -3 up to 10. Okay, so there, you know that. So you don't want the fill color to be red. You want it to be data driven, and we want to run it, make it a linear transition between colors, and we want it to be based off of the income difference, not the 2017 percent of income or the 2011. I mean, you could do that, but what we're doing is the difference between the two. And so when it went down, that should have been good, right? So we should put something green at the bottom and something red at the top, because we don't want, there we go, we probably don't want it to be, we'd rather have it go down than up, right? So I think this was something like -3 to 10. And if the opacity is like 1/2, you can see the underlying graphs. It's starting to look like a pretty graph now. And maybe I want to make the lines black. Okay, so I want the stroke color to be black. So I don't want it to be data driven. I think I need to put pound let me try that. If that's wrong, no, that's right, that turned it black. Yeah, that's all I want you to do, something like that. And if you get it this good, that's great. Like find another county, find a county like that you came from or you live in or something like that, and make one of these cute little pictures. And this is just a silly little thing I wanted to show you. This is a blooper. See, this little white piece is supposed to be obviously with the rest of this red piece, because it's like a tall and skinny little thing. So the polygon coloring tool got confused, I think. unless this thing inside is just getting forgotten. Like, what is going on here? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. There are going to be houses there. So something's weird. Okay, but I just wanted to point that out to you. Okay, so yeah, let me stop this video. Okay, I'm going to forge ahead and try to do this. cloudgoogle.com, BigQuery, public-data. I'm going to Cloud Marketplace, and I'm going to look for births data summary from the CDC. Okay. It's one of the many offerings, and I should be able to open the data set. And I am looking for the one that is called BigQuery Public Data, SDOH. It is SDOH. Oh, here's the name right here. And I need to open this up and look at the data itself so I can see the variable names and so forth. Okay, I'm going to want to work on that. Click on the kebabs to start yourself a query. The kebab dots is those three little dots. Okay. And I'm going to change this. Select star from the data set. Where year there we go. I like to autofill, autocomplete when possible to make sure I have the right variable name, and I happen to know that the way they want me to say 2018 is to actually list it as January 1st. 2018, January 1st. But actually, I'm just going to try to save data. So instead of trying to look at all of the births from the year 2018, what I just want is the sum. There we go. Let me see if that works. And I'll see how many people were born in 2018. Voila! And let's see what happens. Well, it should tell us how many people were listed as having been born in 2018. Just out of curiosity, I asked AI and they didn't get quite that number, but this hit gave us the same number spot on. There we go. So either they're both right or they're both wrong. Okay, so this is working. Let's push our luck. I'm going to trash that one. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the top of this table, and I'm going to look for another data set. I'm going to look for this survey, and I want to see something about houses being built. Let's look at the data set. And once you open it up, you'll recognize that there's like a full name of whatever it is you're looking for. Actually, I guess I have to dig down, okay? I want to dig down further than this. I want to look at block group 2010. There we go. And it's a 5-year block group. Okay, so one of the things it tells us is telling us median income for the block. Now, if you take an average of medians, you're not going to get the right. If you want to know the median household income for all of the U.S., this is the wrong way to do it, okay? But it's just something to calculate. So please forgive me for doing this. But we're going to ask a question. The first question is, why are we using 2010 when 2018 is available? Let's go 8 years closer to the present, whatever time it is. You're just 8 years less out of date. And we're going to go ahead and do a query. I want to know if there is any relationship between median income and median year structure built. So are areas with wealthier households likelier to have newer or older homes? Okay, so I'm going to do the following. Select average from, and it was median income, this variable here, from, and we don't want to limit 1,000. We want to grab the whole thing right now. And let's go ahead and try that. And we get $65,000, 591 and 42 cents. Okay, and the rest of the digits are complete bunk. Okay, so surprisingly, it's not that bad, but we just took an average of medians. You can Google the real median household income, but this is off by more than 1,000. But considering this was not a valid way to find the average household income, it's not that bad. Now find the average median year structure built. So same data set. Median year structure built. And it's going to be really bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to say the average home was built in 1781. And this is one of these examples when if you get a result and it doesn't make sense, it's because there's something going on in your data that you don't understand. And I'll just save you the suspense. The problem is that there's a whole bunch of zeros in the data set that are pulling down this value. So we can fix this. Figuring that out was not easy, but now that you know that, you can fix it. Okay? So you can say, well, let's just put a cap on it. Like, there's no way there's going to be structures that are older than like 1600. Okay? Let's just get rid of the zeros and see what happens. And the average household is going to say 1974 or something like that, which is much more reasonable. Now, we can try this twice more with the median household income above and below that 65,000 point or some other convenient breakpoint. Okay? And so you can do the following. You can put an and in here and say and median income, this variable, is less than or equal to 65,600, and then you go ahead and run that. And so when the median income is below that threshold, then the average home is from 1972. I don't suspect it's going to be off by a lot. So 1972 versus what? 1977. So it looks like there's a slight preference for for newer builds for richer communities. That's just a guess based on this playing around. And it's not a huge difference, 1972 versus 1977. Who knows what that 5-year differential means? Okay, so this is by geographic region. Note it's not by household. It's not saying that wealthier people have newer homes, but it could be indicating that that could potentially be true. What it's saying is that regions where the average income is below 65,600, the average build date was about 1972, while for regions with an average income above 65,600, the average build date was about 1977. Okay? So hopefully that was fun for you.